Hey guys and gals, welcome back to BK Moore's Mayhem. On this week's episode, we're going to be working more on the CB350. This here, if you watched last week's video, is the parts engine that I got with this giant parts haul. I got it out of the frame. It was held in by 2 bolts, and now I got it sitting over here on one of my work stools in my garage. And, well, as you know, we need this head. The other one I have deemed as no good. I mean, it could be useful to someone else, but for what I want to do and cost efficiency, it's just no good to try and get that plug out. It will cost way more money than what I have into all these parts. So I figured, why not get it, use this one, be way better, way faster. I won't have to send it out to a machine shop or anything like that. I myself won't have to try and extract it out with a easy out, which let's not go there. So I figured this way it's a lot easier, a lot faster, a lot simpler. I won't have to wait a week for a machine shop to do it and get to it and all that other nonsense. This way then I can just tear apart this engine, get the head off, good to go. So I will be removing this and I'll show you guys how well that tool worked, because this engine is as well seized. So I will be using that tool that I talked about last week, the chain brake tool, and I'll be showing you how it works in this video. Okay, so let's get to it. Every time, bolt always gets stuck in there, you know? Actually looks nice and clean in here, guys. Not a whole lot of corrosion or gunk. It's nice and clean. The cam actually looks really nice too, so that's good. So what you want to do to start is just tighten it up to one of those links in the chain, one of the pins. It's a little tricky, but you can get it. So as you see, we're on one of those pins now that goes through the chain, and now I'm going to give it a bit of a snug up on it. I can see it's already starting to pop that pin up through. So just gotta keep. Yep, there we go. And now there's nothing on the back side of this, so just maybe put a finger over it, because the last thing you want to do is pop that pin out, it goes flying, you lose it, it goes down into the engine, you're having to tear the engine apart, something like that. So I just kind of put my finger over the end here, so in case it does pop it out, it won't go flying. There we go. All right, so now that chain is off. So next I will work on removing this. Now, I do not believe, I might be mistaken, but since I'm taking it off this way, I do not believe I will have to remove the cam or the rockers. So that saves me time. I believe I could just take it off all as one assembly. Now, if I was putting this engine back together, I would have to disassemble it. So that saves me some time. And guys, I will say, I don't think I addressed this before, but if you're working on a motorcycle and it will most likely have lots of Phillips heads, get yourselves one of these. Saves you a lot of effort with some JIS bits in it. It's a very handy tool to have in your toolbox for working on bikes. Because trying to crack these loose with just a screwdriver, next to impossible. And if you see here, this is what happens when you don't use a JIS screwdriver. Strips it right out. So now I'm probably going to have to get creative to try and get this one out, because I doubt this will work. Oh, wow, that was lucky right there. I'll show you in a second if you didn't quite see. There's almost no star left on that, as you can tell. And that came out very easily. Like I said, get yourselves one of these. They're not expensive at all. It's very handy for working on motorcycles. Now, oh, I was right. I did not have to take that all apart. Now the chain is getting a little stuck here. Whoops. That's okay for now. Let's just set that aside. And wow, these valves are looking a hell of a lot cleaner than mine are. So that is very nice. Well, it's probably going to be a problem. That's one issue, I guess, with leaving the cam in. There. Now, as you can see, Still fully assembled. Easy to take off. Just gonna set it aside for now. Now, I believe there's just 2 bolts left on this cylinder head, and it will come right off. So I will get to taking those off. And I think they're 12s? No. So it's a 10 mil, and there's just 2 bolts on either side, and that's what holds this head in place. And you have it right off. There are the 2 bolts. I'm just tapping it with my rubber mallet. You don't want, oh, there it is. There it is, guys. Off. She's a little dirty on this side, but I think that will clean up. And, well, we don't have a spark plug seized in it. So, that is very good. And like I said, this engine is seized, as you can tell. If you guys come in here, you can see how bad this engine actually is. It's actually way worse than what the 69 was. This is horrible. Now, is it still savable? Possibly. But this one would definitely need a full bore job and everything else. So I would almost say it's not even worth saving this engine, because that is terrible. That is really bad. Way worse than I thought it would be. So we now have the part that we need. And like I said, it's in relatively good shape. It's not too bad. Definitely savable. But a good thing to check beforehand is to make sure that the valves aren't seized. Or if they are, to break them loose. Now that's an easy enough check to do. So I'll show you guys here in a second. So what you want to do is just hit them with a hammer. And you can feel it move and see it move. So this one's good. That one's good. They're all good. Now, if they were seized, you wouldn't quite hear that ping, and you wouldn't really feel it in the handle as it goes down. It would be more of like hitting something solid, like a solid thud. This, you can hear and see move. And then if you flip it over, you can actually see the marks on how it moved. So you know those valves aren't stuck. So we're good there. She just needs a really good clean. So I can actually show you guys how to do that, and we can start and get this cylinder nice and cleaned up. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, is we're just going to hit these with this wire wheel brush on my drill. Now, I would prefer a brass one. I think it would be much better on this, a little less abrasive. But unfortunately, I can't find my brass one right now. So we're working with what we got. So you just want to go ahead. As you can see, it already looks a lot better compared to what it looked like before. Look at that. Nice, cleaned up. There is one more thing that I will do to this, and I'll show you in just a second here, is let these soak. Now, you can't really, I don't have any spark plugs on me for this bike right now, or else I would just put some spark plugs in these holes and put some fluid directly right in them. I don't have any right now. So I'm going to show you this trick. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I got some paper towel, four pieces actually, there's two in each. It's roughly a good size for those combustion chambers. I'm going to coat them in transmission fluid. Oh boy. Now, you will get a little dirty here. And some diesel. Just let that paper towel absorb it all up and just simply stick it in that chamber. And same for the other side. Really get in there. Same thing. And now just let this sit. And that will clean those right up like new. I actually did that on the other cylinder. And I'll show you here. So as you can see here, I did the same process with the diesel and the transmission fluid on the cylinder head, and it cleaned it up very nicely. So it's a good trick to do if you don't have spark plugs or whatever, a plug to put in there. Just soak a piece of a shop rag, paper towel, whatever, some diesel and some transmission fluid or anything else of your favorite penetrating fluid or anything really like that, and it just helps clean it all up nice. And again, I did hit these with the wire wheel on my drill beforehand, and then I just let sit with the paper towel in it, and it cleaned it up really nice. So for some of you guys that might be curious and think, well, BK, why didn't you just take that engine, unseize it, you have it unbolted, and put it in this bike? There's a very good reason for that. Those of you that don't know, these earlier model CBs, mainly in the 60s, not the 70s, I don't remember when they changed it. It might have been 71 or 70. It was definitely early 70s. These older ones in the 60s have a higher RPM on them. They have more horsepower than the older ones. So as you can see right here is a good example. You can see this thing redlines around, what, 10.5 RPM, right? Here's the gauge, the RPM gauge that I got for that engine that was on that bike at one point. And as you can see here, it redlines much lower. So the difference in some of it, one of the big main things is the cam. The cam is different. It's bigger and it allows for a bigger RPM range. So these engines are actually a little more sought after than those ones because these have more horsepower. So I just thought I'd share that little snippet of knowledge with you. So now you know if you end up coming across an older 60 CB that still is the original engine and it's for sale, you should definitely buy that one over 70s. They're a lot faster. Okay guys, that about wraps it up for me for today. I am still waiting on the gasket set and everything. Should be in really soon. And then we're going to get to assembling this engine. So it should be in very soon. And that will be in the rest of this video, us putting that engine back together. So I'm going to go make my dinner. But don't worry, for you guys, I'll be right back. Okay? Watch this. YouTube magic. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been a couple days. And I got some good news and some bad news. So as you can see, some things have changed. I have the other tank on it from the other frame that I got, because I found out after I mounted this seat, I decided to. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I decided to see if I could get it to fit, and it fits, and it works, because it was originally a side mount. I just had to do some slight modifications to make it a rear mount, and it works. But then I ran into the problem of then putting on a actual CB seat that for some reason this tank then did not fit properly. There was a huge gap between the seat and the tank right here. So I thought I mounted the seat incorrectly. I went over that quite a few times. I was very confused. I couldn't understand where I went wrong. So I sat down, I did some research, and found out that this is not a CB tank. This is a CL tank. So there's a huge difference between the tanks. Not just, you really got to sort of look at first and then you can tell. But apparently in size, this tank comes out to about here. It's that much bigger. And it's a little wider. So that was my issue. So now, as you can see, if you come in a little closer, you can see the difference between the two tanks. And that was my main issue, with some weird fitment problems. Now I know what you're wondering, well, BK, is that maybe a CL instead of a CB? No, it is not. The engine starts off with CB, and so does the VIN on the side of the frame. So it had some other random seat on it to begin with. It wasn't off a CB or a CL. I don't know what it was off of. And then it had a CL tank. So I think someone dumped the bike, damaged the tank, damaged the seat, and they just threw on whatever they had. So now it is back to having full CB parts back on it. Wrong year, but right parts. So we're off to a great start there. Now, for the bad news and the good news. We'll start with good news first. There's still good news left. The gasket set came in. So I'm very excited on that. That means engine assembly can start. But there's a catch. With the new pistons, new used pistons that I got with the bike, one piston came with rings on it. By the looks of it, a nice new set of rings. I did not notice that the other piston did not have rings. So I had to purchase a set of rings, and unfortunately they won't be in till probably the end of this week. So by the time this video comes out, the rings will be in and I'll have them. So unfortunately that pushes the reassembly to this engine to next week. So that's where we're at with the bike. It's just a waiting game now. I'm waiting on rings. So I did take the liberty of mounting the new piston on it. I got it all mounted correctly. There is a certain way that they go. I'll talk about it. I'll show you guys when I do the other one. But there is a certain way that it's got to go, and a certain way that the rings got to go. And like I said, we'll talk about that when I get the other rings in, and I'll mount it and show you how to do it properly. But I just thought I'd jump ahead a little bit here and get this one mounted and ready to go. And I did start to clean this base up a little bit. It's not the best. It's still a little rough, but I started to clean it. So there's still more to do. But now we're going to get to the better part of the ending of this video. And that is just over there, if you'll join me. And guys, that is an update on the Yamaha. We are going to go for a quick ride down a street near my house real quick, because she's ready to rock. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking, BK, was this absolute nonsense you have going on here. Well, guys, I do not have a battery for this. The local parts place does not have a battery for this. So I rigged up this contraption. She's on there with a ratchet strap, connected down with some jumper cables. She's pretty tight. She ain't gonna go nowhere. She'll be fine. We're not going super fast because I did not replace the front tire. It is still the old tire, but I was able to remount it onto the rim, and it seems to be holding air, so she should be good for one trip. Now, there is this whole debacle that's going on here. Unfortunately, I planned on filming this portion yesterday. Well, I came out here yesterday, fired up the bike, got her all running, went to grab the clutch, and the whole clutch lever broke off in my hand. I cannot get another clutch lever until Friday. So, this is just a brake lever for the CB, and handy dandy snap-on screwdriver. Holds it in place. She works pretty good. Shouldn't fall out. The hole doesn't line up too well, and I can't really drill it out to get it to fit properly. And truthfully, for 20 bucks, just go buy a new lever. So that's what I did. But for the purposes of this video, and to go up and down a street real quick, that will do just fine. So, give me one moment to get ready, and we'll run this thing up and down a street and see how she rides for the first time. I'll be right back. Shifts and rides like a train. Alright guys, as you saw, this thing is amazing. Runs, rides, shifts, great. And it is fast. This thing is quick. This thing is really quick. I still might have to take her out for a couple more test rides to, prove that she's pretty good. But on that note, this bike will be for sale. So I will be posting a listing and sharing it on the official BK Motors of Mayhem Facebook page. So if you're interested and in the greater Niagara area, this bike is for sale. It's got one brand new front tire, brand new rear tire. She still needs a little bit of cosmetic work and whatnot, but she's in really good shape. She is much more savable, so I would like to pass it off to someone else who can take it more from where I brought it. But guys, we did it. We dug this thing out of a guy's storage lot, and it was destined to be cut up and thrown away for scrap. And here it is, back on the road again after decades of sitting. So that does it for this week. But next week, I'm hoping that we get that Honda running. Not rideable yet, but at least running. So until next week, this is BK Motors of Mayhem, out.